A lot of fans around the world have really been reunited ever since the Great Divide from the sequel trilogy movies such as The Last Jedi and Episode 9. It was a very inconsistent set of films between The Force Awakens, The Last Jedi, and Rise of Skywalker. A lot of movies, of course, have dealt with problems before in the past within the film industry, but never have I ever seen anything like this within, of course, the overall, film industry when it comes to Star Wars and how Kathleen Kennedy handled it so poorly. Now, when we go ahead and take a look also at what Jon Favreau has done with The Mandalorian, we can see that Star Wars is beginning to rebuild itself. We can finally be able to see that Star Wars is shaping Filoni and other people hopping on board over, behind the scenes at Lucasfilm to take care of this new expanded universe. Now, given that Kathleen Kennedy is only working on one project and one project only, that is, of course, The Acolyte by Leslie Headland, and of course, they're going to have other co-writers coming on board, and new directors will be chosen very shortly. Now, with that being said, what's really intriguing all has to do with Kathleen Kennedy's stance on the entire Star Wars fandom and other sides of the Star Wars fans. Now, with Disney already working on over a dozen Star Wars projects, given that The Mandalorian Season 2 is now over, Disney and Lucasfilm are primarily focused on their new Star Wars projects to fulfill their universe and more. It's described that, however, that in a recent interview, Lucasfilm's Kathleen Kennedy was questioned about the Star Wars fandom to where she was able to state that when looking at the backlash of the sequel trilogy movies, of course starting with Ryan's movie, in her mind, the fans that were loud and destructive are to blame for the divide between the overall Star Wars fan base. Kennedy continues to state that the fans that criticize the films out loud on social media are directly responsible for the entire fandom to go against each other, and that it was not that the films were poorly made, but rather the fans having a poor attitude toward others is what caused problems within the community, and that she views the fans as responsible for creating such issues within the beloved community that George Lucas created back in 1977.